is your reaction to this happening?
When I was watching it on TV, I said, "You got to be kidding!" But I could, as it was going along, I'm watching Bill Daly turn the cards over, and I swear that there was a smirk on his face before he turned it over, and a little more hesitation before turning it over than the other one. So I said, surely they haven't won again, and they did. And unfortunately, they didn't have a camera on Tim Murray, the Buffalo Sabres general manager at that time, because their whole platform this year is to pray for McDavid. That's the fans' platform, and they're not going to get him. So as an Oiler, they win well off the ice. That's all I can say. They don't win too many games on the ice, but they win well off the ice. It impacts, taking McDavid impacts Leon Draisaitl. It impacts Todd Nelson. And it certainly impacts the general manager of the team, because now that NHL combine and such doesn't become quite so important, because I don't think they're keeping their extra first round draft choice. They're going to use that trade and get something else. So they're only going to get the one pick in the first round, and that's the first pick in the draft. So it's a little different. I feel a little, unhappy for Todd Nelson sitting back in Oklahoma City when they win the lottery. Now all of a sudden every coach in the league who's out of work wants to work for the Oilers, or certainly talk to the Oilers. They don't have to work for them, but talk to the Oilers. Meanwhile, the one thing that bothers me is that the fans they're jumping to an awful conclusion here and saying, oh, McDavid's the first line center. Well, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has played 4 years in the league. I'm sorry, the 18-year-old starts on the second line, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is still in the first line. So now they may rejig maybe Taylor Hall plays with McDavid, and Eberle plays with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and then you move things around that way. So it's not the usual Eberle and Hall playing with Nugent-Hopkins, but I think we're jumping the gun here just a shade by pushing Ryan Nugent-Hopkins down the ladder.
Well, and more importantly, if they don't have a goaltender, or if they don't get another defenseman.
I think most people would look at it and say, can he be as good as Nate McKinnon was in Colorado the first year, when he was a pretty dominant player? But nobody gets 100 points in the league now. So, what's a good season for a kid now? 60? I don't know. Even the first player picked in the draft. So, but at least they're going to see him at Edmonton, and in '97 there hasn't been anybody else wear '97 as an Oiler, so that he's not stealing anybody's number.
What can we expect to see when the Oilers call his name in June, and then? Well,
he has to play some games. I don't think Gretzky at least had 1 year in the World Hockey Association. While it wasn't the National Hockey League, there was only 6 teams in the last year in the league, so it was a pretty good league. Played against men, got 110 points. McDavid's coming right from junior, and the NHL today is much tougher than it was back then. I think there's way harder to score goals. Everybody blocks shots. Back in those days, 110 points, 130 points, whatever. That's what you got. That's what you got. Now, 80 points is a great year. So, in terms of thinking he'll be able to step in and be the same dominant player he is in junior, with 120 points in 47 games, 3 points a game, not going to happen. But he's got more talent than just about anybody. So even at 2/3 of his junior stats, that should be good enough. If you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, if you got 60 points, I think you'd be very happy.